In today's fast-paced world, we are constantly told how to hustle, how to plan, and how to stay on top of our game.
But what if I told you that the best productivity system includes faith? So one of the practical habits that I'm going to be mentioning is starting your day with God. I don't know about you, but one thing I am glad that I've done in my life is starting my day with God. Even if I'm not going to go deeply into prayer, I'm going to say this first. God, thank you for today. I believe that starting your day with God helps you to start your day on a very good note. You have a clear mind of what you want to do. You have a very better mood for the day. Some people say, oh, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. If you woke up on the wrong side of the bed and you talk to God, there's a way you feel afterward. That is why we're supposed to visit our therapist in the morning before we start our day. Time block with purpose. Instead of making random to-do lists, schedule specific time for each task. Maybe reading, eating, cooking, washing. You can set a particular 1 hour for washing and then you stick to that 1 hour. So you can do every other thing as well. Eliminate digital distraction, our number one distraction. They don't allow us to get things done on time. I mean, if you give somebody the chance to actually be on social media for your own day, the person will do it. Because we are getting this pleasure, this increase in dopamine when we continue to watch things that give us pleasure. Maybe scrolling on social media, watching movies, and the rest of it. Too much of social media makes it very difficult for us to pay attention to what is important. You as a writer, you know you're supposed to complete a particular task. You know you're supposed to complete about 2 chapters today, but because you've been on social media since morning, you've not had a time for it. Even though you have enough time, you just never looked for a time to pay attention to your writing. So that is why our social media is another thing that can actually cause us to be less productive. I think there's an app called App Freezer. If you can freeze your app and then you can stop getting notification for a moment until you unfreeze it. This allows you to be productive during the day because you are not reminded of a notification that is coming on your phone. Practice gratitude and reflection. At the end of each day, I want you to start to write down the things you are thankful for and the things you are grateful for. For example, maybe today was a very good day and then you write, oh, today my boss praised me for a good job. Write down the things you are grateful for. Write down the things God has done in your life. One thing I've actually started doing is that God does a lot of things for me. Sometimes I forget that, oh, God has done something for me. I'm this kind of person that whenever I am praying, I like to remember the things that God has done for me. This makes me go deeper into the mood of worship. But sometimes I find it difficult to remember the things that God has done for me, except for the things that God does every single day, which is making me alive to witness a brand new day. Maybe I'm expecting something and this thing comes through, or maybe God showed up in a way that I was not even expecting. So I'm going to write them down. And I'll be doing it, so I'll constantly go back to that book and then see the things like, oh my God, I wanted this and God did this for me. So this gives me a reminder that God has been faithful. Now, at the end of the day, maybe after coming back from work, I want you to also write down the things that God has done for you and how appreciative you are towards God. This helps you to keep doing the things you are doing. Maybe God has given you the strength to continue tracking your habits, doing the things you're supposed to be doing without failing. Or maybe doing a good job and sticking to your true intentions. For example, this can also help you in your productivity in the sense that maybe you are the type of person that likes to journal a lot. You have a diary, you have a journal, but sometimes as a person who is struggling with productivity, you might say, oh, I will journal later without journaling. So at the end of each day, take 5 minutes to write your appreciation to God and journal afterwards. Surround yourself with the right influence. The type of people you spend your day with constantly as a way of shifting your mind from what is right to what is wrong. We have the tendency of conforming to what every other person is going to say because a majority of the people you're surrounded with are agreeing to each other. And because you don't want to be the weird one, you start to conform to what everybody is saying. This is what being in the wrong influence can do to you. If you're surrounded by distractions, you are likely to be less productive. You are likely to put things off. You are likely to procrastinate. If you want to be more knowledgeable, what do you start doing? You start reading books that will make you more knowledgeable. You start listening to people that are actually more knowledgeable than you. It is very, very easy for me to gradually let go of my faith in God because I find myself buried in every other thing that are very, very important than God. You start getting involved with a lot of activities in schools or in your job, and then you start procrastinating. Oh, I will talk to God later. Oh, I will pray later. Oh, I will spend a quiet time later with God. Gradually and gradually, the moment and the time you start spending with God start to diminish. All these tasks that we are trying to do, our work, our goal that we are trying to achieve, sometimes they can serve as, don't want to use the word distraction, but they can actually take more of our time away from God if we are not careful. One thing I am happy about is the fact that I try as much as possible to start my day with God. I don't joke with that. This way, I am incorporating God in my productivity life. And this way, I am balancing the two because sometimes, let me be very honest, my spiritual life actually is what helps me in my productivity life. Because when you put God first, He aligns everything else. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and every other thing shall be followed. That is what the word of the Lord has said. The word of the Lord does not lie. Start your day with God. It's time blocked with purpose. Eliminate digital distraction. Surround yourself in the midst of the right people and the right influence. Practice gratitude and reflection. See you in the next one.